So question, Jacob, don't take this the wrong way. I really enjoy your condo. It's wonderful that, like, when we look out the window, we can see the beach and the water. And yeah, I love looking out and seeing the water. Every morning, it's my natural cup of coffee. You know, seeing those waves. Yeah, me too. That's why I said it. Just let me finish. I love your condo. And I love that you've had this condo for what? 10 years? That you've sustained this on a freelancer's income. I'm not saying that a freelancer's income is low. I'm just saying that you've made it work. And you've always made ends meet with your job. That it shows your longevity, right? But what's your long term with like a place like this? Because, you know, a condo, you don't own it. I mean, I guess you could buy a condo, but this is like a big condo. Like, this is kind of like an apartment complex. I don't know why it's even called a condo. But, you know, are you looking to get into like home ownership one day? I mean, would it be a deal breaker if I'm not? If it's not something that's 100% on my radar? You asking that question after I asked the question, it kind of frames it as like you're not looking to get into home ownership. Is that what? Can you just answer my question and then I'll tell you whether or not it's like a deal breaker for me? Because it's like a nuanced thing. So I really can't give you an answer until like you actually answer my question about it. I don't want to own a home, but... Okay, so not to cut you off, but to answer your question, is it a deal breaker? I guess, it's not necessarily a deal breaker. I just personally always wanted to have like a white picket fence. And just like, I wanted a home out of like a Nicholas Sparks movie. You know, just Hallmark Channel, nice neighborhood, perfect schools. It's always fall. You know, that type of neighborhood. But if you know you have a good reason why you don't want to own a home, obviously, like, the economy, there's like no middle class anymore. I get it. It's impossible to save up. Believe me, I've been there. I've had this discussion before. Listen, I don't want to own a home, but as I was about to say, if it's something that you've dreamed of, if it's something that you want, I don't just want to be selfish and keep my mind closed to things. I don't close my mind off to things. My mind's open to everything. Sure, right now, I don't want it. But that's because I've never needed it or wanted it or thought about it. You know, like, it's just not a concept I've introduced myself to. But I'm sure if I thought about it some more, and if I, you know, fall in love with you more, and I see that you want something like that, then I who cares, you know? I also, just because I've lived here 10 years, doesn't mean that this is my forever place of residence. I don't want to not adapt. You know, water doesn't stay in one place, and I look at myself like I'm water. Okay, that's sweet. I like that. That's very nice of you. But at the same time, I don't want you to do something just for me. I don't want you to own a home just because, you know, your girlfriend or maybe wife one day wants to. I don't tell this to people because it's no one's business, but I have a lot of money. I have over $1 million saved up from over the years, you know. Big clients, money from my parents. You know, I bang stuff. I'm not a spender. So, I'm good. You know, I live way below my means. And I've just always been like that. Oh. Okay. Right. So I guess you didn't use your savings because you don't care for a home right now. You like your condo. You've been here for 10 years. You don't have a family. So why would you buy a home and waste that money in this economy, correct? Yes. Okay, so if you wanted to take a chunk out of that for like a big fancy wedding one day, you could do that. It's all my money. No one can claim $1 of my money. I could use it forever for whatever I want, whenever I want. I know how bad this world is with money, and I never wanted to be in a place where I can't be myself. You know, it's hard to explain. I just never wanted to have to work a job that forces me to be someone I'm not, or make a piece of art that I don't believe in. And when you don't have money, you have to constantly make an art that you don't necessarily want to make. You know what I mean? I know you're not like that type of person when it comes to art, but that's, I would hate to have to live somewhere I don't want to live. Okay. You are good with money to save that much money. Wow. You could own 2 houses here in Serafina Town with that. You're fiscally responsible. Whether you do freelance or not, that stigma does not apply to you. You're good. I'm sorry for judging you. Am I asking too many, life questions? Am I putting the cart before the horse where it, turns you off? A little bit, but I get it. I'm empathetic. I read a lot of books, like fiction, and I'm able to, empathize with people because of, your empathy levels go up when you read fiction. Can I ask, one other life question, just because it's been burning in the back of my head? If you're all life questioned out today, then we don't have to. Go ahead, please. I'm not thin-skinned. Okay, so you said that you want to be a stay-at-home dad, meaning I would need to have a lot of income. Fine, we'll take that day by day, whatever that looks like. If that's... Listen, when it comes to stay-at-home dad stuff, that's just always been something I thought of. But just like with the house, I'm flexible with that stuff. I don't want you to think I'm ever tied to anything, any belief. I don't believe in that. People are fluid. It's good to be able to change your mind with things, We don't have a baby, so we don't need to even discuss the stay-at-home dad stuff yet. We don't know what life looks like at that point. Not that we should be talking about babies. My question is, how are you with kids? You are clearly good with money. You manage your smoking habit. You have kept a career for the last 10 years. You don't have any enemies. You don't have really any big vices. You're good, in a lot of categories. Even at face value, if I read some of this stuff on a piece of paper, I would question it, but it's all good. How are you with children? I don't mean to say, hey, how are you with kids? Let's have babies tomorrow. I just want to know, as my potential future partner, because of who I have been with in the past, I just want to screen out the people that may or may not be great dads. And I know that's a heavy question, but you need to understand, I've been through the ringer here. I love kids. I have a lot of, extended family in California. Nieces and nephews. I haven't seen them in a while, but yeah, I've always done well. At least I think so. Okay. I am sorry for interviewing you, but I have a couple friends, like my friend Gabby, my friend Miranda, who have conditioned me to weed out people who may return me some red flags later down the line. And I'm really trying to avoid all of that. So, I want to just end this by saying you've kept a good job for a long time. You've kept your place for a long time. You haven't been evicted. No money problems. You've saved your money. You are a good guy. And I'm sorry if I'm a little neurotic with this stuff. I promise you, I won't ask you a million questions every day like this. Does the stay-at-home dad thing really bother you? Like when I said that? No, I don't know. I just never expected it. And also, I don't have a fancy career. I work check to check. So, I'm frugal, but I'm not. I have a stay-at-home dad at home frugal. You know, I remember you telling me that you were talking to Melissa about kind of being in peacetime and having PTSD, as you called it, right? While everything was going good. Like, you don't tend to have anxiety and dwell on the past when you're in the thick of it. I mean, am I paraphrasing it correctly? Yeah. Why do you ask? Oh, because I've found myself feeling this feeling that I have never felt before. I guess no, I really haven't felt it ever. Now that I get to see my grandkids, every time I leave, even though we've only done it now twice, every time I leave, I'm leaving Miranda's house with this overwhelming sense of doom. My breath grows short. I get these tingles in my hand. It is almost like a feeling of walking on eggshells. Well, has your supervised visits with Miranda gone bad? Like, is she acting like a drill sergeant or anything? I really can't imagine her being like that. I would think that she would make your visits pleasant. No, she's been fine. But I'm just so scared of losing my privilege to see my grandkids. And I don't know how to deal with that. Now I'm terrified of going back to not being able to see them. Mom, you can't control how people are going to conceive you. You can't control how Miranda's going to act or behave or whatnot. You can't control it. So, you can't be afraid, you know? The only thing that you can control is be the best grandma that you can be the best mother-in-law you can be. Even though that's not your legal title to her anymore, you can still fill that role and set an example. Don't give her any reasons to hate you or distrust you. That's what you can control in this situation. Cover yourself. I know. But in today's world, and in Miranda's eyes, what defines a good grandma and a good mother-in-law? At any given moment, she can say, you're not allowed to see them anymore. And I've been there, and I've fought my way out of it, but I do not want to go back. I get your fear and your trepidation, but you said it yourself just now. You are where you want to be. You have what you have been wanting. You've fulfilled it. Every second that you stress being scared of losing it, you're going to ruin your time with your grandkids. I suppose you're right. I just never expected to feel this way, being in the position that I'm in. This is everything that I've ever wanted. And I am so terrified of losing it all that, yeah, it's taking away from me enjoying the moment. And in some ways, I wish I had fought for legal visitation rights, because I at least know no one can strip me of that. But I'm dealing with maybe I'm seeing her in a bad light, but I just feel like she changes her mind every damn day. Hey, Mel, can you I know it's like harmless to you, but I don't want Junior touching phones. Like, even just the act of like lighting up the screen and getting familiar with cell phones, I'm just not ready for him to do that yet. I really, everything this kid's been through, I really want to minimize the screen time now. Miranda, he's very smart. He is. Well, smarter than Joey was at that age. I can remember that. But I don't think when he grabs the phone, he's aware of like everything that we're aware of in terms of like the addiction stuff, because I don't let him get past unlocking it. He's just lighting the screen up half the time. I don't know. I think he does. In the past, before everything happened with him, I was guilty of being on my phone a little bit too much. He knows adults with cell phones, and I know he just wants to play with it, and I love that you're not like rude about like, hey, give me my phone back or whatever. But I'm uncomfortable with him just being familiar with it. Does that make sense? I don't want him exploring it in any way, because first he's gonna play with it, then he's gonna want the screen unlocked, then he's gonna just be on YouTube. I don't want that. Okay. Thank you. I don't mean to be a diva. I just, you know me. I'm very, I have my beliefs. I don't know. Is there anything else that I've done wrong while I've been here that you would like to clear up now, so we don't have to have any surprise discussions later on? Yeah. I like that I can leave the room with you. Like, I love that I don't have... Like, I love that we already got to the point where I can walk out and I'm good. And I trust you. Even though we're in a house with cameras and security everywhere. I trust you. But, I know you're a grandma, and it's hard to say no. But when Junior, like, wants a refill on the snacks... When we're getting closer to like lunch, dinner, no more refills, because then he's not going to eat his food. I know it's hard to say no more crackers, but just say no. If I ever give him extra snacks from your pantry, it's simply because his stomach is growling. And that was the case earlier today. I could hear his stomach. So I gave him a little extra crackers. It wasn't. He eats all day. He eats plenty at school, and he eats when he gets home. There's no way his stomach was growling. Okay. I don't mean to be a bitch. I really don't. It's just, he either eats everything or he eats absolutely nothing. So I really just try to find the happy medium and find the balance, so that when it comes to the real meals, he is hungry enough to eat them. Does that make sense? Yes. So then with that principle and that regimen that you're on here, it would make a little sense that his stomach would be growling. Mill, I never leave him hungry enough to where his stomach is growling. He has his snacks, and then I really don't want to like go for tit for tat with stuff. If I if I want something for them or I don't want something for them. I would much prefer to just have a conversation about it and move on. Okay. Again, I'm not trying to be a type of person or anything. I have my routines and my ways, and I don't want to deviate from it because it just screws up everything. You know, if he eats a lot of snacks in the daytime and then doesn't eat his dinner, he's going to wake up overnight. And I have to get up with him overnight. And then I have to go to work. So it's just these little things add up. You know, and even if he's not unlocking your phone, if he's lighting it up and looking at the screen, it does affect his behavior. And it does affect his sleep. Okay. Alright.